everyone, and welcome to HOA Fight Club. Today I would like to discuss attorneys and how to deal with them with the HOAs or condo associations. Attorneys seem to think that if they're working for an association that they don't have to follow the rules of professional conduct that they have had set out for them by each state. If you are having issues with an attorney, the first thing that you should do is go to the site that is for attorneys for your state and look up what their rules of professional conduct are. Most of them are pretty much the same, and one of the very first things that they have to do is honor the Constitution of the United States, which most of them don't do that. So when you do that, you can look through all the rules of professional conduct and see what their guidelines are. I just dealt with one that was in Montana that an attorney had contacted a homeowner, and the homeowner wasn't even asked if she had an attorney to represent her. So when an attorney contacts you, the first thing that they have to do is ask if you're represented by an attorney. And if you're not represented by an attorney, they have to tell you that you need to get representation. They are not allowed to give you any advice or talk to you or deal with you in any way unless you have been given your rights by the attorney. So when these HOA and condo association attorneys are trying to deal with homeowners, they're not giving you your rights ahead of time. They're just contacting you and telling you that they have all the power to do whatever they need to do. Now, the association does have the power to put liens on your homes, which goes to the attorneys, but that attorney has to contact you. So if that attorney is contacting you, they need to ask you if you're represented. So make sure that that's the number one thing that they do. The second thing you need to do is if that attorney is making any threats towards you, is get representation. And if you don't have representation and they haven't asked you for representation, then you need to turn them in for ethics violations. If you need help with this, the first thing you need to do is go to your site for your state, read what the guidelines are, and it actually spells it out for you in most states. They all have governing things that govern each of the attorneys and what they have to do and the guidelines that they have to follow. And what I usually do is go through each of those rules of professional conduct and see which ones that the attorney has violated, and then show how they have violated it by adding that into a letter. If you need help with that kind of a letter, I am more than willing to help you write those letters. We need to start showing which attorneys are violating our rights. I think that a lot of them are getting away with it because nobody knows what to do when an attorney violates your rights. I don't think a lot of us know what an attorney can and can't do. An attorney should not be able to see defects in the laws and then take advantage of those laws for profit. Most of them have to, if they see things that aren't working in the laws or it's not fair in the laws, they're supposed to make the laws better, not take advantage of them for profit. So HOA attorneys do this all the time. They don't care what the laws are. I have been told that, they have all rights, that they don't have to follow their rules of professional conduct because they don't have to, because the board doesn't have to. Well, the board didn't take that oath to follow those rules. An attorney did. So if we as homeowners allow them to do this, we're allowing them to violate the ethics. And I think that if we start turning them in for their ethics violations, then the states will start seeing that these attorneys are doing this, and they'll start stepping in when they get so many complaints. Attorneys think that they can, talk to you and threaten you and make you pay things that you shouldn't have to pay and pay their fees and do all these things, but really they shouldn't be able to do that. Attorneys should be seeking improvement in the law. They shouldn't be trying to take advantage of the laws for profit. And I know that in Washington state that attorneys can charge whatever they want because there was no guidelines on what they could charge. So if a homeowner went past due on their assessments, the attorneys were charging $3,000 to $5,000 for a $50 past due assessment, which put the homeowner past due their 6 months so that they could put the lien on it and start foreclosure right away. In most states, you have to be at least 6 months past due on your assessments. Well, if your assessments are only $50 a month, that's not very much. But if your assessments are $500 a month, then that will take, quite a bit of money before you're past due 6 months worth. So those attorneys know how to play that game by just charging you your 6 months past due of assessments. So my assessments were $500 a month. An attorney would just automatically charge $3,000 and make the homeowner past due that 6 months. So know what your laws are. I know that CAI, the Community Associations Institute, if you go to their website, they will show which states have non-judicial foreclosures and judicial foreclosures. If there's a non-judicial foreclosure, they can actually put the lien on and foreclose without going to court. If there's a judicial foreclosure, they have to go to court, and they're going to have to show the judge how reasonable they were in putting these fines and past due fees and attorney fees on there, which gives you a little bit more that you can show the judge whether you did or did not do these things. But if it's a non-judicial foreclosure, they don't have to do any of this. They can just say you were past due. The judge sees that that amount was past due, and they just foreclose on you, because there's no way for you to tell the judge that, hey, this is all attorney fees and not assessments. The way that Washington State was getting away with it was they assessed that to your account, so that was your assessments. Your assessment should just be what you pay per month or your annual assessment. So the attorneys have learned how to take advantage of the laws. I know in Washington State, in the new laws, the attorney can only charge $2,000, which still is a crazy amount for doing nothing. That attorney is doing nothing but making threats. I know that the attorney that I was first dealing with was actually taking each month, looking for people that were past due, looking how many sheriff sales that they could do each month, and going through all the condo associations so that they knew which ones that they could foreclose on. And that attorney was telling the property managers so that they could actually go in and bid on those homes, because they have insider information of which homes were going to go into foreclosure, which to me is another ethic violation. So if you need help dealing with an attorney, you can always email me at hoafightclub@gmail.com, and I will help you write that letter. I will help you research those laws so that you know what the rules of professional conduct are for your state. We need to start showing the states and the ethics boards what these attorneys are doing, and start calling them out by name, showing on public forums that these are unethical attorneys, turning them in to the Better Business Bureau, turning them into the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau actually put one attorney that I turned in for ethics violations on a national watch list, so that if she did this again, that she would be taken out of her practice. And after that, that attorney hasn't done any HOA work that I can see. She used to teach a lot of the CAI courses that they did, because they always have all these things that they do, I can't even think of the name of them right now. They have conferences, and they do these special things that they can, tell these other attorneys how to take advantage of these laws. So she was doing this, and she was violating the 6th and 14th Amendment. And she actually said that they didn't have to honor those 6th and 14th Amendments. So the 6th Amendment is that you have the right to an attorney. So she wanted to deny your right to an attorney, but the association always had an attorney, which to me is not a fair process. So I turned her in for that. And she was not allowed to really practice law, or she might have been allowed, but she really didn't practice law after that in the public's eye that I could see. I know that they made her turn in a lot of her cases over to the ethics board, and of course the ethics board a lot of the times doesn't do anything. At first they said no, she's not doing anything wrong, but I always appeal the decision. If they tell me that the attorney's not doing something wrong, I appeal the decision. And with that appeal came a 30-day process where this attorney had to turn over all of her files, which causes her some difficulties because she has to go through all of her cases and show that she is doing what she's supposed to do. And I think that takes a lot from the attorney, and then they start to back down. I know the other attorney that I had turned in for the ethics violations, she dropped out right away. So this is a way to deal with attorneys for not doing what they're supposed to do. There's rules of professional conduct for a reason, and we as consumers and people that are under the guidelines of the state need to start using those and show the courts what these attorneys are doing. And again, if you need help doing this, I am more than happy to help you write these up and research the laws and research the rules of professional conduct for your state. I have done the Montana laws, the Washington laws, and other states, and have started to make sure that I know those laws so that I can help homeowners. Remember, my advice is always for free. I'm not an attorney, but just a concerned homeowner that is trying to give people a way to deal with these attorneys that won't cost them any money, because we don't have the money to be fighting these attorneys one homeowner at a time. All right, I'll see you on the next one.